Oh, this is so boring. Maybe if I watch it upside down, it'll be better. No, still boring.
If this looks at all familiar to you, then you will feel the same way we do. TV is dying, at least in its current form. When people are trading in their TV licenses for a Netflix account or a YouTube account, when people can actually wear one of these puppies, don't wear a puppy, and be on the train when they're commuting to work and be in their own private virtual cinema room, why settle for one of these flat screen monstrosities? But if television is going the way of the cultural dodo, it doesn't mean that it's any less funny. You see, this rather drab-looking board game box that looks a bit like it shares a DNA strand with an unfortunately coloured crisscrossed skunk holds an enormously funny game. That's because the networks understands what's actually funny about television. It's not John Cleese frolicking around like a seizure-stricken ballerina. It's not Jimmy Fallon's impression of Bob Dylan, and it's certainly not Andy Samberg's hair, even though all those things are actually very amazing. The real funny thing about television is how it's a mockery, a pastiche of itself. And the networks, in one fell swoop, brings out what's best and worst about television.
Oh good, Fred Dimner's Age of Steam on again.
In a game of the networks, 1 to 5 of you will be making your very own version of Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. And it starts by being very funny because although you're choosing your TV shows and you're curating your celebrities for those TV shows and you're deciding on your advertising, the game kind of boils down to 3 choices. It's just 8 p.m, 9 p.m, and 10 p.m. And the thing is, because you're just starting out as a TV producer, your shows are going to be terrible.
The beauty of the networks is just how creatively funny some of these fake TV shows are. In fact, everyone we played the game with has agreed that if they were actual TV shows, then television would be so much more entertaining. And in the interest of making this a reality, we decided to recreate some of these TV shows for your viewing pleasure.
Badgers!
Ladies and gentlemen, an hour of shouting. This concludes an hour of shouting. Where are we? Oh, we're in St. That's all right.
Good morning and welcome on this wonderful, beautiful day. Boy, do we have a treat for you. We're presenting you with this lovely bag in this gorgeous orange colour. Now, it's exclusively in orange, so you might want to nab it while you can. What can you use it for? That's the question I hear a lot. Well, this particular bag, you can use it for going out, putting your washing in, and you can even use it for putting your shopping in. This particular one comes pre-stained and grotty for that lovely lived-in look. Join us after the break when we will be discussing this other lovely orange bag.
BBC, if you are watching, we are waiting for your correspondence. Meanwhile, how about we actually teach you how to play this game? Well, see, in the networks, you're going to be battling for viewership, and the person with the most viewers at the end of the game wins. And viewers are just basically code for victory points. But you see, the most important thing in the networks is that everyone is going to want the best thing. You're going to want the best TV shows, you're going to want the most expensive viewer gaining stars, and you're going to want the ads that give you the most money. But because the networks is a drafting game, you're not going to be able to get everything that you want. every round, and there are 5 rounds in the game, you will be picking each turn one card effectively. There are different actions that you can do, but this is primarily the thing that you'll be doing. So you'll be taking either a TV show, a star, or an advert, but sometimes certain TV shows will require for you to have a star already in your green room, and if you pick that TV show and pay whatever it costs, in this case $1 million, you will be able to attach that star to it and put it into one of these time slots, immediately discarding the old TV show and then making it go in the reruns.
Ideally, you want to put your TV show on at the right time so it gets you the most viewers possible. So an hour of shouting is best put on at 9 o'clock, and that will get you 7 million viewers. You can put it on at any time slot and it will still nab you 4 million. In its second season, people have watched it, they love an hour of shouting and think it's great. So it will get you 8 million viewers regardless of the time slot that you put it on. When you put something in your reruns, this symbol here means that it will still get you viewers. So What's in My Pocket will get you 1 million viewers in the reruns at the end of the season.
And this is where the network starts to become very interesting indeed. You see, at the start of the game, it's all a little bit loosey-goosey because it doesn't really matter what you pick. You can take any show you want, and even if the show you kind of wanted is gone, then you can pick something else. And mostly your decisions are actually at the start of the game but going to be based about what's the show that's funniest. Like, very charismatic explosions might appeal to you a lot more than old folks complaining, and that's okay. But as the game progresses and every round moves on towards the end of the game, everything will become so much tighter. It will be a lot more important to pick the right star at the right time before anyone else does, or figuring out what everyone else is going to pick just so you get the right thing. And even though 3 choices seem pretty simple, actually the maths behind it becomes very complicated, because some shows score a lot initially if they're in the right time slot, and then a lot on the second season, and then almost nothing in the third and fourth season. So you really need to carefully time and plan things as your TV network career starts to skyrocket.
Chainmail Bikini Warriors might be a great show for your network because, let's be honest, when you hear Chainmail Bikini Warriors, you know what the show is going to be about, and it will get you a lot of viewers in its first season. However, Old Folks Complaining might be great as well because it's a comedy and you already have a comedy. And if you collect 3 of the same genre of TV show, that's what your network is known for, and you'll get a bonus for that. And also then if you collect 5, you'll get a bonus too, and that's whether they're on air right now in your reruns or in your archives, it doesn't matter. You might also be thinking about what's funny, what's going to work in this? Like, who wouldn't want to see an old folk complaining as tabloid fodder? You can just imagine the possibilities of that, and it just sounds great, and it makes the game really, really fun.
Choices! Everyone who watches this channel knows I love choices, and the network has a whole load of choice. Look, even in season 1, when you've acclimatized yourself with the stars that you can get and the different TV shows and the ads, then season 2 comes along and changes all of that. All the cards get put away that are still left there and new ones get dealt out. And on top of that, these network cards come along and say, season 1, that's so last year, and they're just another card type to choose from, and they simply do a thing that's on them. And whilst that's nothing new in games, I feel like the different variants in these cards is just crazy. Like, this one just says get 3 million viewers or 10 million viewers if you pay $10 million, but you're probably going to go for the 3 million viewers, but that's not necessarily the best card that you can get. But then something like this that says 2 million viewers per every show of the same type at the end of the game of your choice, which is like potentially 10 million viewers just for one card, which is crazy. Or something like this that says prevent one of your shows from aging, which just throws such a wrench in your maths. And there's a lot of maths in this game because this is a numbers game. So much so, there is an abacus included on your TV network just to make sure that you can count. And on top of that, at the end of every round, when does the round end? When everyone passes. When do you pass? When you want to. This stayed on. But if you pass first, you'll get $10 million, or then you can choose, instead of taking $10 million, get 5 million viewers. Another choice in the game. But maybe you don't want to pass because there's still a lot of cards on the board. But maybe you do want to pass because you want that money. But if everyone passes and there's still cards left, you can keep taking actions over and over without anyone interrupting you and have all the stars and adverts and TV shows that are left. But is that going to happen? You never know. And that's what's really, really cool about the networks, the unpredictability of what's going to happen. Money! There's a lot of money in this game, like millions and millions of dollars, and this is supposed to represent $1 million. And even though it is just a one and everything's abstract, it's actually quite a lot of fun to say, I'm going to spend $5 million on this TV show because I'm a high-rolling TV network executive and I just have that kind of money on me. It puts you in that role. And okay, be honest with me right now. Have you ever thought to yourself, well, I could probably run a TV network and I could probably do a better job than most people that actually do that job. You have, haven't you? We all had that thought, right? And that's what's so great about this game. It puts you into that position. It lets you be a TV network executive and make those stupid decisions. I say stupid because in this game, all the decisions are stupid. Like putting a fierce drag queen in very charismatic explosions. The hilarity ensues, and money is also a great glue. It just kind of ties the whole game together because everything apart from ads costs money. So you want to buy a TV show that gives you a lot of views, like 10 in the first season, 12 in the second season. All right, gotta pay $1 million for it, and then you know what? You also have to pay $1 million for all the props and sets and all that kind of stuff every single season. So when you're buying a TV show that gives you a lot of views and you're adding a star to it that also gives you a lot of views, and that eats up $2 million every season on its own, you know, you're not gonna have that money to spend on the good shows in season 5 anymore. And you'll want to, because that's where you're going to win or lose the game.
There is a danger in this game that you will end up playing by yourself because you're building your own TV network and you're choosing the shows and the stars and the advertising, and it might end up feeling a little bit solitary. But the player interaction really comes with the theme, because if someone builds a really cool synergy between their shows, or they put a funny star with a funny TV show or funny advertising, they want to share that. You want to talk about it and discuss it, and it really is really funny and interactive.
Now, I see, I actually disagree with you a little bit, because I think that there is more interaction than you think there is in the game. See, this is a drafting game, and theoretically it's not, because everything's open on the board, but you're still picking cards one at a time. And here's the thing, if Elaine, I know, is into sports, which I can observe through the course of her gameplay, then maybe I don't want to sports, because we don't want to be in the same area. We want to be in our own individual little bubbles of territory and not compete with each other, because if we're competing with each other, then someone who's not competing with us is simply going to be the runaway winner. And so, yeah, I want to be on my own, and I don't want to be with you, but we can be, if you want to, just send me letters, we'll talk. But we mentioned a number of times the game is also funny and, you know, kind of hits that sweet spot of taking the mickey out of television. And here's the thing, whilst I really do enjoy the humor, and I really kind of enjoy the artwork, even though I think the artwork's kind of a bit, you know, you've got eyes, you can see. So here's the thing, right? I don't want to compare this game to Munchkin, but I can't not compare it to Munchkin, because invariably the artwork and the humor is actually of a very similar style. You see, Munchkin, both in terms of artwork and in terms of humor and theme, is a parody. It's a parody on the tropes of Dungeons and Dragons. And here, the Networks is doing the same thing. The Networks is a parody of TV tropes, and it utilizes that same humor that appeals to broad audiences, and it does it pretty well. But the reason I think this game is nothing at all like Munchkin is because whilst Munchkin has humor, I think that's majorly basically what it has. When you get bored of the humor in the Networks, and invariably you will, there's still a pretty good game underneath it all. And I think that's very important. Negatives! There are a lot of negatives. So there are some negatives of Elaine doing things in the dark that no one should really see. But we're not going to expose those. What we are going to expose is the one negative that the networks has. And that is that I don't think there's a cohesive long-term strategy in the game. The strategy that you have in this game is more reactionary, based on what's happening on the board, you know, what other players have taken, what cards have come out. But I think what this game needs is really something that kind of gives it glue, just ties it together and lets you just plow right ahead. And then it would give the game longevity. But here's the thing, and this is a really exciting thing. We shouldn't really talk about this because these things are speculative and sometimes they don't pan out. But the designer, Gil Hova, has Instagrammed a picture of him playtesting an expansion for this game that adds variable powers to different TV networks. So your TV network could be like a state network like BBC or cable network like HBO. This is exactly what this game needs for me to really just kind of ramp it up towards one of the best games ever.
I kind of disagree with Efka because I don't mind this reactionary strategy. I'm enjoying it and I'm really enjoying the theme. I haven't built all my cool networks yet or put my cool stars with the shows that I want to put them with yet. I want to find out more and do more in the game. We've played it with 3, 4 and 5 players as well and they all seem to work quite well. We haven't yet played it with 2 though, so we can't comment about that. But we think that maybe 4 works probably the best.
Look, I am excited about the networks. I'm just as excited as Elaine, and even though the sofa only creaks when Elaine is excited, do you know what? This is probably one of the best games I've played this year. And it's not to say that the other games that I have played haven't been very good. There have been a number of good games, but if the quality of games this year stays the way this is, and if something comes along and will surpass this for me, wow, what a year in board games. But networks, strong recommendation from us.
This concludes tonight's TV broadcast. And now, please stand up for the national anthem.
When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life.
My mama cooks in Italy, mama swims in Argentina, mama's got a chunga, yeah. My mama's works in Venezuela, mama likes Cinderella, mama's got a chunga, yeah.